She was once the teacher every student admired, Christina Formela, a respected educator and beloved soccer coach. But today, she sits confined under house arrest, staring down 55 felony charges that could send her to prison for 60 years. What happened to turn a trusted mentor into a criminal defendant? The truth is darker than anyone imagined. 55 confirmed charges, nearly 2 years of abuse, and one teenage victim whose life was destroyed by the very person meant to protect him. This story isn't rumor or speculation. It's built entirely on court records, police body cam footage, and the latest updates from DuPage County, Illinois, July 2025.
You're Christina?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. I don't have anything on you. You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need?
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're going to explain everything to you guys.
But how did a respected special education teacher become one of the most notorious female predators in recent true crime history? And what's happening to her now as she awaits trial? The Christina Formela case has shaken an entire community, shattering trust and exposing the dark, uncomfortable truth about teacher-student relationships that cross every imaginable line. In March 2025, Christina Formela was arrested for criminal misconduct after authorities uncovered an inappropriate relationship with a student. At first, many believed it was just a tragic lapse in judgment, a teacher who blurred professional boundaries. But as investigators dug deeper, they realized this was far more than a single mistake. It was a pattern of manipulation that had gone on for nearly 2 years. While Christina maintained a perfect public image, the caring teacher, the trusted coach, the woman no one ever suspected. But in the next few minutes, you'll discover how her secret life unraveled, what really happened behind closed doors, and why her family now insists she's the one being persecuted. If you want to uncover how the world's most shocking crimes truly unfold, make sure to subscribe now, because what you're about to hear next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Christina Formela appeared to be everything parents dreamed of in their children's teacher. She joined Downers Grove South High School in 2020 as a special education instructor, quickly earning praise for her dedication to students with learning disabilities. Her colleagues admired her compassion and patience. Parents trusted her completely, believing their most vulnerable children were in safe hands. Beyond the classroom, Christina coached both boys and girls soccer, spending evenings and weekends mentoring young athletes. In a close-knit community like Downers Grove, where family values define reputation, she became the perfect example of what an educator should be. In 2024, she married her college sweetheart in a stunning ceremony in Italy. Social media painted the picture of a woman who had it all: a successful career, a loving marriage, and the admiration of her community. But behind that carefully curated image was a darker truth waiting to surface. What appeared to be perfection was, in reality, a mask hiding years of manipulation. And what began as a simple act of kindness would soon spiral into one of the most disturbing educator scandals in Illinois history. It started with something as harmless as a broken collarbone. Christina volunteered to tutor a 14-year-old student who had been injured during a soccer game. It seemed compassionate, a teacher helping a student in need. But this wasn't about academics. It was about control. While most teachers would have referred the student to the school's tutoring center, Christina insisted on handling it herself. She wanted privacy. She wanted access. What she did behind those closed doors would shock investigators and devastate a community. At first, the messages she sent the student through the school's official communication platform seemed appropriate. Questions about his recovery, encouragement with schoolwork, and reminders to stay positive. But those messages soon shifted. They became personal, then inappropriate. Christina had found a way to exploit a system designed to protect students. The tone of her messages changed gradually. An intentional escalation meant to blur the lines between teacher and friend, between care and control. Soon, she gave the boy her personal phone number, claiming it was just to play a game together. That decision marked the start of something much darker. According to prosecutor Jacqueline McAndrew, Christina began contacting the boy when he was only 14, maintaining that contact for nearly 2 years, from September 2023 through August 2024. This wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment. It was systematic psychological manipulation that unfolded slowly and deliberately. Investigators later discovered that Christina even knew the boy's phone passcode, memorizing it during tutoring sessions. It wasn't an accident. It was part of a calculated effort to control communication and erase potential evidence. Her actions were premeditated, not impulsive. And as prosecutors would later reveal, her digital manipulation was only the beginning. In December 2023, according to court records, Christina crossed an unthinkable line during an early morning tutoring session before school began. Most staff hadn't yet arrived, and the hallways were empty, the perfect setting for secrecy. A student who believed he was entering a safe academic space became the victim of misconduct that violated both educator ethics and state law. The boy was a minor, someone she was legally and morally bound to protect. Instead, he became the center of a long-term pattern of abuse. As investigators dug deeper, the scale of the misconduct grew clearer. Prosecutors allege that Christina violated professional boundaries with this same student at least 45 times over nearly 2 years, including multiple incidents in her own home, some during school hours. While she was supposed to be teaching other students, she was allegedly arranging private meetings at her residence. Court documents even referenced text messages between Christina and the student discussing how they were almost discovered by another teacher. They knew the risk, yet she continued anyway. Her double life was staggering. By day, she taught children with learning challenges, attended faculty meetings, and coached soccer. By night, she allegedly manipulated a vulnerable teenager while maintaining the image of a respected educator and devoted wife. Prosecutors described her as using psychological control, guilt, secrecy, and fear to ensure the boy's silence. But perhaps the most chilling detail was her awareness of what she was doing. Prosecutors presented a message where Christina mentioned that a neighbor had once been charged with similar crimes and that she feared the same could happen to her. She knew the risks, she knew the law, and she allegedly continued anyway. That level of awareness destroyed any argument that this was an innocent misunderstanding or a single lapse in judgment. Christina Formela, a trained educator, was fully conscious of her actions and their consequences, yet kept going, believing she could outsmart the system. What she didn't realize was that she was creating her own downfall. Every message, every call, every meeting left a trail, a digital record that investigators would later use to expose the truth. What she thought were private communications would become the evidence that ended her career and possibly her freedom. To parents, she was still the smiling teacher in staff photos. To colleagues, she was the caring coach cheering from the sidelines. But the most disturbing evidence wasn't in the messages. It was in her personal notes app. Investigators found what they described as a digital memoir, a journal of her obsession, confusion, and complete disregard for professional boundaries. In those notes, Christina called the student disgusting and accused him of cheating on her, as if a grown woman were the victim of a teenage boy. One entry read, "We will never be together again."
I'm not a second choice. I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all my mistakes.
Those weren't the words of a remorseful teacher, but of someone completely detached from reality. Christina even wrote something unbelievable. "I'm going to live my best life, knowing he's not the person I thought he was. He's beneath me." She wrote that a student involved in her own professional misconduct was beneath her, a disturbing reflection of how disconnected she was from the reality of her actions. But the text messages themselves were just as damning. Court documents described explicit conversations, showing romantic feelings, and even details of their inappropriate encounters. Prosecutors said these messages revealed a deliberate, ongoing violation of professional boundaries, not a momentary lapse, but a calculated pattern of misconduct. When confronted, Christina tried to claim the student had stolen her phone, sent the messages to himself, and deleted them as blackmail. But investigators didn't believe her. The evidence was overwhelming, the pattern undeniable. Christina's carefully built image was about to collapse, and this time in front of everyone. In March 2025, a simple act of parental care exposed nearly 2 years of misconduct. The student's mother had bought him a new phone to replace a broken one. While transferring data through iCloud, old text messages began appearing, and what she saw changed everything. Among the messages was a thread with no name or photo, filled with conversations no teacher should ever be having with a student. When she asked, her son quietly said the number belonged to Christina. Shocked and heartbroken, the mother didn't hesitate. She didn't call the school or try to settle it privately. She went straight to the police. On March 15, 2025, the mother and her son walked into the Downers Grove Police Department to report the inappropriate conduct allegedly committed by his tutor and soccer coach. That decision may have saved other children from the same fate. Within 24 hours, police were ready to act. The next day, March 16th, Downers Grove detectives pulled Christina over during a routine traffic stop and took her into custody. Her husband sat beside her, unaware of the secret life his wife had been leading. The arrest, captured on police body cameras, would soon go viral. It became the moment the community realized that the woman they once admired had been living a disturbing double life.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Officer Guzman with Downers Grove. Do you have your license on you?
Yes. Tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain. I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain everything to you.
Right through double doors, not moving through
You're Christina?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You don't have anything on you? You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're going to explain everything to you guys. Go ahead and grab it out. We're not going anywhere right now. Of course, yeah. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. So I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a down stroke.
Handcuffs?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor. We just take this off.
Can I ask you
Of course, yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me.
The body cam footage captured every moment. Christina stepped out of her husband's car, visibly stunned, as officers placed her in handcuffs. Confused and trembling, she kept asking if she was in trouble.
Am I in trouble? Like, I'm so lost right now. I'm
sure you are. Like I said, I can't answer any questions right now other than to tell you that right now you're being detained for an investigation and we're bringing you in a police car. Then once you get there, they're going to fill you in on everything.
Once inside the back of the police cruiser, she broke down completely. Hugging her knees, she told officers she felt like she was going to throw up. The same woman who had spent nearly 2 years crossing professional boundaries now sat crying in the back of a patrol car, seemingly unable to comprehend that her actions finally had consequences.
Sure you don't want a tissue or something?
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
You want a bag?
Yes, please.
All right. Or here, if you stay with her, I'll go grab it.
But when investigators confronted Christina with the evidence, her reaction exposed the full extent of her manipulation and denial. Detectives showed her the text messages recovered from the student's phone, and instead of admitting the truth, Christina spun an unbelievable story. She claimed the student had stolen her phone during class, somehow guessed her passcode, and then spent nearly 2 years sending hundreds of inappropriate messages to himself, all while deleting them from her phone each time to use later for blackmail. According to her, this teenager had flawlessly impersonated her, maintained the illusion for years, and done it all without her ever noticing. And yet, Christina wasn't finished. She went on to call the student a stalker and claimed that everyone was targeting her simply because she was good-looking. Christina insisted she was just a caring teacher who had tried too hard to help a struggling student, a victim, not a predator. Her words painted a disturbing picture of denial, where she saw herself as the misunderstood hero of her own story. Christina claimed that even her husband knew about the student's stalking behavior. But when detectives interviewed him, that lie fell apart instantly. He told investigators he only knew the student as one of his wife's soccer players, nothing more. He had no idea about any inappropriate relationship and said he never went through Christina's phone or saw any suspicious messages. The man she had married less than a year earlier was completely unaware of the secret life she was living. When investigators confronted Christina about the disturbing digital memoir found in her notes app, she offered another story. She claimed it was nothing more than a private outlet for her anxiety, that the explicit references were actually about her husband, not the student. She wanted them to believe that when she wrote about cheating, betrayal, and calling someone disgusting, it was all about marital frustration, not a 14-year-old boy. But investigators weren't buying it. The evidence told a different story. Thousands of messages, consistent timelines, and a victim whose account never wavered. The truth was undeniable. What started as a few questionable texts had unraveled into one of the most disturbing educator misconduct cases DuPage County had ever seen. What shocked even seasoned prosecutors was just how deep it went. What began as 3 felony charges quickly expanded into 55, each representing another act of manipulation, deception, or abuse of authority. With every new discovery, the mask Christina had built around her perfect public image fell apart piece by piece. Beneath the surface of a trusted teacher and loving wife stood someone investigators now described as one of the most calculated predators they'd ever encountered. By April 2025, the victim disclosed even more disturbing incidents. Then in May, a grand jury indicted Christina on 52 additional felony counts, bringing the total to 55 charges and a potential 60-year prison sentence. Yet even standing under the weight of this mountain of evidence, Christina clung to her delusion. When she appeared in court, she walked in hand with her husband, playing the part of the misunderstood woman, the beautiful victim of a conspiracy she had created herself.
How do you feel knowing she was leaving this child into your home and hiding any
Have some
evidence?
respect for the process, please.
And hiding any evidence of you being there so she can harm?
Did you really him 50 times, Christina? Anything you want to say, every story has 2 sides.
Why would you
Anything
accept
you wanna
Michael's
say?
proposal?
In courtroom, Judge Mia McPhersonson banned cameras, describing the case as horrifying, shocking, and appalling. But even without the public eye, Christina's delusion lived on. If this deep dive into psychological manipulation is opening your eyes to how narcissistic predators truly operate, subscribe now, because what comes next exposes the darkest side of the beauty-based offense. As of July 2025, Christina remains free on bail but under strict conditions. No contact with minors, GPS monitoring, and a complete ban on entering school property or leaving Illinois without permission. Yet the damage she caused will last far longer than any sentence she may serve. Christina didn't just destroy one victim. She shattered the trust of an entire community. At Downers Grove South High School, teachers and parents were forced to face a painful truth. A predator had operated among them for years, hidden behind a smile and a perfect reputation. Principal Arwen Lipp confirmed that Christina had been part of the school's special services department since 2020, coaching both boys and girls soccer teams. For over 4 years, she had built trust, gained access, and positioned herself as an authority figure in both the classroom and the field. Her fellow educators were devastated. They'd laughed with her in meetings, shared lesson plans, and trusted her judgment. None of them saw the double life she was living, a teacher by day, a manipulator by night. Christina had weaponized the most sacred bond in education, the trust between teacher and student, and her own digital memoir proved she knew exactly what she was doing. But the Christina Formela case isn't just one story. It's part of a disturbing national pattern. Law enforcement is increasingly uncovering cases of female predators who use charm, social status, and appearance as shields. Research now shows that while female teachers commit misconduct at similar rates to men, they're often prosecuted less severely because society struggles to view women, especially attractive ones, as predators. Christina understood that bias, and she used it. Even as her charges mounted, she maintained her image. Perfectly styled, calm, defiant. Experts later identified classic narcissistic traits: lack of empathy, grandiose self-image, belief that rules don't apply, and total exploitation of her position. She wasn't just crossing boundaries, she was redefining them to suit her narrative. Christina's case shows why victims must be believed, even when the accused doesn't fit the image of a monster. Her teenage victim showed immense courage in coming forward, despite knowing how society treats cases like his. Today, Christina lives under GPS surveillance, cut off from students, her marriage under strain, her career over. If convicted on all 55 counts, she could face up to 60 years in prison. Most experts believe she'll eventually accept a plea deal, but her case has already done what few others could: expose how deeply appearance and perception shape justice. Christina Formela wasn't a woman who made a mistake. She wasn't a victim of her beauty. She was a calculated predator who used trust as her weapon and attention as her disguise. Her own words prove it. Her memoir proves intent. Her psychology proves manipulation. She thought her looks made her untouchable. She was wrong. If this case opened your eyes to the hidden tactics predators use to manipulate and control, subscribe the channel for more real cases that go beyond headlines into the minds of offenders.